Thank you for coming today. I would like to speak about shame, busha, embarrassment. What's to speak about shame? When we review the Torah, the book of God, we find that the most horrible punishment to a human being for things that he does against God is the shame, to be embarrassed. Many people will give everything they own just to prevent 1 minute of shame or of embarrassment. If somebody knows that tomorrow the reporter is about to put a bad article about him in a newspaper and millions would read it, believe me, if he can, he would buy that article for any price it's possible just to prevent the embarrassment of walking on the street. The Torah says that when a person passed away, soul exits the body and goes up to 1 year trial. 1 year. That's why in Judaism we say Kaddish, a special prayer for the souls of the deceased people for 1 year exactly, because this is the term of the trial. But the main punishment, before we go into all the described punishment that the Torah and the oral Torah has, is the main thing, is the embarrassment of the person when he stands in front of God and they show him a film of his entire life, from the minute he was crawling on a rug to the moment of his death, whether it took 50 years or 70 years, and now he sees every scenario, every minute, every thought that crossed his mind. Everything is being displayed in front of him, and the embarrassment is tremendous. The person has nowhere to hide. Each one of us will face that moment. Cannot prevent it. If it was possible, believe me, I wouldn't be speaking here to you and wasting your time. But since it's critical, and I know some of you may think, how do I know, how can I prove? You can go into my website and see all the hundreds of proofs that I'm giving to prove that the Torah is divine, and maybe you will take my conversation with you here today more serious. You can go into divineinformation.com, go into my proof section and the lectures in English, in Hebrew. You can see many topics that proves that the Torah is divine. And based on that knowledge that the Torah was given by the creator of the world, and he's the only one who can tell us what's good and bad, and he gave us Torah. Torah in Hebrew means instruction, ora'ah. He told us the secret, that the main punishment is the embarrassment. And I want to tell you a story. From this we're going to understand a little bit what embarrassment is. Sometimes we go to the circus or to a boxing match and we find something very interesting. For instance, in a circus, if the acrobats fall from the rope and get smashed on the floor, always the first thing that he cares about is to try to rise back on his feet and wave to the crowd, I'm okay. I'm not dead, I'm not wounded. Even though he may be wounded, maybe he broke a bone, he has physical pain, that's not his concern right now. His main concern first, when he heard the crowd saying, oh, what an embarrassment, he fell. First thing he wants to prove, no, I didn't, I'm okay. It's no big deal, I'm back on my feet, I'm still standing. What are we learning from this? Very simple. Let's use our head for a minute. That a person cares only about the embarrassment part of the punishment, which is a spiritual punishment. It's much worse than physical pain. Another example, in a boxing match, a person hit the other. One person got a knockout and is on the floor. First thing, he's trying to hold the rope and wave to the crowd, I'm not dead. Later you will find out that an hour later he died in a hospital. His main concern was, I'm still standing. Save me the embarrassment. One time a person wanted to make a scene and he decided to go and do something and was about to make the scene, and guess what? A Gentile was running nearby. He saw that Jew was about to do something bad, and the Jew saw him and he got embarrassed and he gave up. He did not commit the sin. A week later he came to the same place to commit the sin, and guess what? A little kid was standing there, 3-4 years old. He's staring at him. He's trying to convince him to go back to his mommy. It didn't work out. And the boy, he's staring at him. When the boy was staring at him, he could not commit the sin. So he gave up again. A week later he came to the same place, third trial. And a dog was standing and staring at him. Two black eyes are staring at him. He was trying to push the dog away, but the dog is an angry dog. He doesn't want to go away. He couldn't make the scene in front of the dog. That's the story. What do we learn from this story? A person live here 120 years in the best case. He goes out of here. The soul exits the body. The person goes back to God. He gave the soul, as the Torah described, that God created Adam, a body and a soul. The body was made for the sand, physical, and the soul was pushed into his nostrils, and he became a live person. And the death, as the book of Kohelet described, the soul exits the body and goes back to God. The body returns to the ground. That's where he came from, and that's death. After 120 years, a person will come in front of God and he will ask him this question. In front of a dog, you were embarrassed to make that sin. Am I worse than a dog in your eyes? I'm staring at you 70, 80 years that I gave you life here. Everything you have I gave you, your house, your car, your oxygen, everything. Your wife, your children, your job, your money. Everything you have, if I didn't want, you did not have. Some people don't have what you have. I gave you all of that. I'm staring at you. I'm recording you. I'm listening to everything you say. You ignored me completely. Such ungratefulness. I am worse than a dog. Where are we going to hide at that case? It will be too late. At that time, it's considered that we missed the train. The idea is to be clever, to prevent that embarrassment. And the only way to prevent it is stick to the rules. Everything is black on white, very clear. And one time in Israel, there was a wedding, husband and wife, fresh, first night, they go back to the home, but before they go back to the home, a little tragedy happened to them. By the end of the wedding, they found out that the bag with all their checks and cash, all the gifts, it's all gone. What a way to finish your marriage, your wedding. They go around, they call the police, they check until 2, 3 o'clock at night. The bag is gone. 3 weeks later, they're going to receive the video of the wedding, the DVD. They invite all the neighbors, the friends, relatives, everybody comes to the house and they begin to watch the wedding. Just when they get to the end of the wedding on the tape, the wife said to the husband, guess what, maybe we'll get lucky and we'll see who stole the bag. Just when they got to that moment, she said, see, the bag is still on a chair. They're hoping they'll be able to catch the thief. A second before, they heard the chair flipped over, they looked around, they see the father of the bride is on the floor. Boom! They looked around, he fainted. As he fainted, they look at the screen, and what do they see? He comes, he takes the bag with all the checks, put it under his jacket, runs to his car, hides the checks, and runs back to the place. Where is the bag? Where is the bag? Pretending, putting up the show. What a show. Over there, nobody could tell, but now everybody found out the truth. Just a second before he saw what's coming, he couldn't bear the embarrassment. He fainted. His body shut him off. Why? Almost get a heart attack if not. He fainted. 1 minute of embarrassment he couldn't take. 70 years of embarrassments reviewed again in a replay. Where are we going to hide? There everybody found what happened to him on one incident, multiplied by millions of things that we do. We cheat, we lie, tell your boss I was sick, I couldn't come to work, millions of examples. In the end, everything will be found out. Everything. The idea is to come clean. My file is clean. I have nothing to hide. Nothing to be embarrassed at. Everything I do is open in front of God. The Torah say, עין רואה ואוזן שומעת וכל מעשיך בספר נכתבים. Translation, there's an eye who watch over you, there's a ear who listens to you, and everything you do is been registered in the book of God. Don't ever forget that. Before we may, chas v'shalom, God forbid, miss the opportunity that God gave us. Thank you very much for coming, and all the best.